DJ Toasty Z, Hip Hop Made Me Do It. You already know what the fuck it is. And if you don't, now you do. This is the sixth ever Hip Hop Made Me Do It podcast. And we're live in Gardner with the homie
Chance Files.
Chance, the day one homie. Not the day one homie.
No.
It's funny because we lived across the hall for like a year and we never hung out.
Yeah.
I always like, oh, Chance is a cool dude. We should hang out. And we didn't hang out until, I can't remember the first time we hung out, but
I think once you moved in with Eric, I started hanging out with you more too because I was hanging out with Eric.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And we also got Terrence in the building.
Yay.
What up? What's your you're a local artist. What's your rap name? What do you go by?
Zedric Taylor.
Zedric Taylor.
Yeah.
For sure. I know Chance had posted about you a couple days ago, I think it was. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to click this. And then the link didn't work. And I was like, oh.
We had some technical difficulties when we first put up the mixtape. Ooh. And it caused a lot of loss of views and listens and whatnot.
Exactly.
But it got situated. Yeah, I met Terrence because when he was, what were you, 16 at the time?
16.
Started sending me like rap lyrics just because like he saw us posting music on Facebook. And so he started sending me his lyrics at like 16, and now he's much older and much better, and it's cool to see that change, see that progression.
Oh, for sure. I was just talking about that with some dude about how he had done a show with Enlighten back in the day at a UMass house party.
Oh,
that was like,
it was Enlighten's first show.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Eric Axelman, he's from Providence, and like it was Enlighten's first show, and like Eric was like, yeah, he was a super dope performer. He's like, yeah, well, it's like crazy to see like that was his first performance, and to see where he went in like 2 years, because like he really wasn't doing shows on the regular until like senior year. He started going really hard with it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's awesome to see that progression in a month, a couple months even, or a year,
Yeah, and Layton was gonna have a show at like a day drink, and it got canceled. Well, it didn't get canceled last minute. It got busted by the police last minute.
The popo.
Yeah, right before he was about.
The
to
feds
go
watching.
Yeah, the feds were watching. Scooped in. All those kids were getting drunk, but yeah, I don't know, Terrence. You should speak on your music a little bit because I seen that progression, but I guess let them know what it's about. And
I'm gonna turn Terrence down a little bit because I hear the backwood roll right there. It's a pleasing sound, but
it's a leaf.
I hear the crumbles.
Gotta take off some of that paper. But nah, basically, my music, I started it when I was like 16. I never really like pictured myself to be a rapper. I never really liked rap. I was honestly into the rock scene. I was into Slipknot a lot, Horizon, Asking Alexandria. Like, you could probably hear those influences in my music because I take heavy metal and I like to influence it into my music. But basically, like, I started off listening to people like that. Then, like, one day, I don't know, something just told me that music wasn't for me anymore, and I could probably express myself better through something else. Because, like, it's not like I'm dissing that type of music or anything. It's just, like, I feel like rappers really do express themselves more, whether it be shoes, whether it be, you know what I mean? Like, rappers really always, just you look at them, you can tell that that's a rapper, you know what I mean? And, like, I always wanted to be one of those people where, like, you can just look at me and be like, that person really cares about this certain genre.
For sure.
And so that's when I started just doing rap, I originally planned a mixtape called Memory Lane, but that never actually came about because, I don't know, I was young at the time and stuff like that. I just wanted to put something together that I thought I was going to like. But then basically these 4 songs came out, which is Have You Ever, Lose My Mind, Legend, and Wasteless.
And that was last year.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and that was last year.
So that patience, though, because he was sending me lyrics at 16, and then he didn't start putting out music really, aside from like this one teaser up until like last year. So really took his time with it.
Yeah, I put up the teaser for Kano.
Which is out now on a different mixtape.
Yeah, that has 3K views too, the teaser on Facebook. And like that kind of took off, and like that's what gave me inspiration because like I was always kind of like iffy about my music, and then my cousin came over one day and he's like, "Yo, let's record this, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
You ever play as Kano?
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, dude." I was like, "Fuck it, let's just record it." Whatever, rolled up, you know what I mean? Just got into the vibe and shit, and then ended up like I woke up the next day, I had like 1.1K. I know it's nothing crazy, but like that gave me a little bit of inspiration to be like, all right, maybe my shit actually will matter. You know what I mean? Maybe some people will start catching on.
And I also wouldn't downplay that, like especially when you're first starting out, like 1,000, like. I always thought it like just like posting even like the videos. I'm happy with like a couple hundred views on some of the videos. You know, it's like to get 1,000 views, and that was like your first song, you said?
Yeah, that was my first song.
To get your 1,000 views right away on your first song is super huge, you know?
Especially with
sometimes it takes like forever to even get a couple hundred, you know?
Yeah, especially with like no real marketing. Like I help Terrence as much as I can with like promotion and stuff, but it gets pretty hard because I work full time. You know?
Yeah.
I don't have as much time to put into it as I'd like.
For sure.
But like without any real promotion other than word of mouth, like that got a lot of
The funny thing is too with Kano, that had the raw audio. That video, the original video I'm talking about, it's still available on Facebook right now. You can search it up, Terrence Petrie. It's on all my videos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But that has like 3K views now. But like that original video had raw audio, and like I didn't think even the raw audio sounded good. Me personally, myself, I think it sounds trash.
Yeah.
But like if you listen to like the actual recorded version of Kano sounds like, in my opinion, the recorded version way better than the old version. It nearly doesn't have as much views. You know what I mean?
It was like a couple of years even later that you like did the mastered version.
Yeah, it was like
the
2
full
years.
version.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how that works. It's like sometimes when you're used to hearing something raw, like Erat, like Attic. I remember when he played it, and he literally just recorded it off of like his laptop microphone, and it was so like there's just the vibe of the track was so raw, and like then he did like a better recorded version, and I honestly liked the original recording better because it was just like, I don't know, the energy of the song was just a raw song, you know.
Yeah.
It's like raw energy, so
It's
it
like,
fit the track.
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of Eric's more raw songs for sure.
For sure.
Erat. But in like a bigger example of that too is Ultimate by Denzel Curry. He had,
for sure.
That 1.5 minute long teaser out for like a year, and it was really raw. And then Ultimate, the full mastered thing, was a great song, but like there's a quality about the original teaser that like
it's just like the rawness, like what you guys said, like it just brings you back to like the grittiness of rap, where like, you know what I mean, someone's actually sitting there going ham, bro, you know.
Yeah. You can sometimes feel the energy when like
you can hear someone recording.
Like if someone's like really going hard and you hear it crack because like they're yelling or whatever, you know, like you feel that energy.
It's a punky energy, and like you kind of feel like you were there for like the Muddy recording too. I think that there's like something relatable about the raw cuts.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, some people get too into that though. They're like so obsessed with the raw that it's just like, you don't necessarily have to put out every freestyle you do. You know, like it's a balance of like keeping it raw but not diluting. No, it's like
That's true.
Quality
that
control,
just
but
not
also keep
baked.
it raw.
Yeah.
You know,
like, no, I know what you mean, and like I feel like that kind of shit's half baked though. But something that's really good in raw recording is still gonna sound great. Like, one of my favorite albums is the Black Dots Bad Brains album, because it's just like an earlier recording of a lot of the stuff that was on like their first album, some other songs too. And so, I mean, like I think it has very punk roots, the sort of the digging the raw, you know what I mean? Like accepting the imperfection.
Definitely. So yeah, this is a very loosely planned podcast. I don't have any, like I said, set agenda. I just wrote down a couple of notes about things that we could talk about, because I know me and Chance can go on about hip hop for a minute.
I can talk about anything.
Yeah, for sure. I know that. Chance is a talker for sure.
Yeah. Right,
Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, this is Chris McGann. Can they see him on the?
He's on the camera. Like,
Chris
way
McGann.
in the
Chris
back.
McGann. Yeah.
I think he's there. I don't know.
Again.
Oh wow. It's, hard to see, but that's Chris McGann.
So yeah, I think
You
like
can call him Tony Two Tanks.
Tony,
Because you got 2 tanks. Carry on.
My notes actually got. Basically, what I was gonna say is that we did a Dirty South edition of hip hop. Maybe do it back in the day when I had my like radio show, and you know, we kind of went song for song. And you've always been my resident. Oh my god, I actually did eggs out of it. I thought I didn't eggs out of it. You've always been my resident. Hear the tap of the keys. My resident Southern expert. I'm curious, like, how'd you originally get into Southern hip hop?
Well, my intro to music was like a lot of metal and a lot of rock.
Mm-hmm.
I would steal CDs from my older brother. My grandma was a bus driver, and she would give us CDs she found on the bus. So there's like a lot of Korn in there and shit. She was a bus driver in the '90s, for like middle schoolers. And I think from there I got into like I also grew up in a pagan family, so I liked a lot of like the anti-Christian sort of metal influences, Memphis rap specifically, and that kind of southern stuff.
Like the 3-6.
3-6. Yeah, but people are loving Tommy right now, like that kind of stuff, and I mean, from there, branch out. I think also Southern rap took a big shot off recently, especially in people's appreciation. So that's Pat Lyons.
I don't even know if he's on camera, but
oh, there's a camera here?
Yeah, Pat pulled up. He's got burger.
Challenge. That's what all of this is about.
What'd you get?
Wine challenge?
You got a Whopper?
You gotta put down the shutter home and a Whopper.
He said, I'll put it down.
They have shutter home at Papa Gino's.
Yeah, because I was always curious because
No, they do.
to me,
What? Really?
Yeah, you go in there, you can get wine at Papa Gino's. Go on, Tyson. It's been like that forever, man.
Papa Gino's is horrible.
Oh, I love Papa Gino's.
I like
that shit up with black
grease.
pepper.
It has a good amount of grease and no other pizza.
Thin, lots of grease. Yeah, slides right down the middle.
It literally, you pick it up.
I love
that.
Shout out
Nice.
Espressos in Fitchburg, Mass.
Espressos is too sweet.
Nah, this shit's fire.
They put orange soda in the sauce, and I like it, but it's too sweet overall.
You gotta be in the mood for a sweet pizza, and I feel like
I prefer pouring my orange soda on my pizza after.
After the fact,
it
yeah.
slides down much easier.
Yeah.
yeah, I can't relate. I can't weigh in. See, I'm not from
They don't have Papa
Gardner.
Gino's in New Jersey.
Is that a chain?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was. I wasn't sure. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, you gotta get
I'm
the
gluten
top
free,
off.
so I don't really. I'm not about that life, I guess.
I
Whoa.
literally just ate it. Like an hour ago, I just had it.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Got a free small cheese breadstick. Coupon, yeah.
There you go.
My mom saves coupons. It comes in clutch.
I love coupons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Extreme Couponers?
I have. There's actually a girl I went to high school with, and
Is
that's
that
what
a
she's
show?
trying to do. She has Instagrams and Facebook's dedicated couponing. It's pretty cool. A lot of people are into it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Wait,
wanna
that's a
say it
show?
on camera.
Extreme. Yeah, it's like a TLC always has those weird shows.
Oh.
Yeah, that's one of those. So they'll go into the store and they'll always the people always have a room that they just stock up with stuff. And I think that they would go in there and it would be a couple $100 and they pay $20 or something.
Well, my first job was being a cashier at a price shopper, and there are people that did that, and they take pictures as they do it and stuff. And then there was a group of people that did a similar thing, but they would come at 9:00 and they come in big groups.
Mm-hmm.
We got big warnings about them. They were a group of moms that always try to pass on a bunch of expired coupons and fake coupons to try to get a bunch of free shit over these teens who they don't think care about the job. And eventually they just caught on, and we just weren't allowed to accept the coupons.
Damn, so there was a gang of coupon
Yeah,
moms.
the coupon moms. They come in rows, and they would all get in one lane too, so you'd be overwhelmed, and you would just pass coupons through and not look into them. But I'd be there, and
They
I'd
would
be like,
just
I'm
go
taking
so hard
long.
that they they're maybe we overwhelm them enough that they just
he's just gonna keep putting it through
You guys
because
hear
it's
about the
9 o'clock.
epidemic in was it Australia about baby formula?
What about
It's
it?
the most
Yeah.
stolen thing at grocery
Yeah,
stores.
dude. There's
That's so
a
sad,
crazy
though.
huge epidemic down there, and what it is there's a bunch of Asian people going in. As soon as they get the delivery, they'll rip everything off the fucking shelves and then buy it all for $20 a can, and then they sell it to overseas for $60 a can.
Wow,
So all
that's
these
not an
moms
epidemic.
Can't feed their
That's
kids because they're buying them all. So now they have restrictions on how many you can buy, and
Why
there's
don't they
brawls
just
and shit like that going on.
band
It's
together and call the people who make the formula and just buy it from them and become a business rather than this hodgepodge weirdness? They clearly have the capital to start a business and they just call the people who make it.
Dude, it's a good profit margin. I was getting into it, I'll start making baby formula. I don't give a fuck. We'll do this.
Throw some fruits and veggies in there. Baby
So,
gets
yeah.
all it needs.
Yeah, so that's
Grind
it.
up.
Throw some baby aspirin cut.
Yeah, baby aspirin, baby Xanax, whatever you need.
That took a weird turn. I'm not upset about it. Yeah, so I was hoping, like I said, I have this book called The Dirty South, which I read back in high school. And it's interesting. It's actually each chapter... Yeah, each chapter has it's like based on a different artist, and it's this guy that used to work for Pitchfork, and he just wrote this book about like just based on the fact that like Southern hip hop is often like disrespected and underappreciated. So like each chapter was based on a different artist. So I figured I picked up some cool facts from there that I thought we could discuss.
Yeah.
Could you mention like a couple artists as an example from like?
Yeah. So they had a DJ Drama, they had a Neptunes chapter. There was one on Ghetto Boys, Outkast. Like I think Goody Mob was its own dungeon. Outkast, Goody Mob was like one chapter. Yeah, I don't know.
Outkast is dope.
Oh yeah, the dungeon. Future is part of the dungeon.
Yeah, I didn't even know that until you said that.
These are fresh.
Oh, thanks. I got them off Terrace.
Got the fresh kicks.
Yeah, I got the
Adidas,
baby blue powder.
Shoe plug.
Yeah, Terrence buys some shoes off Terrence. He got small feet though, so it only works sometimes.
10, sometimes 10 and a half.
Like 12 and a half.
Damn.
Yeah, not gonna work for Pat.
No.
But okay, so what are some of these facts? Factual information.
So I think
real news.
The story behind the Ghetto Boys We Can't Be Stopped album cover I think is very interesting.
Oh, with Bushwick Bill, he shot himself. That one, is that the
one? Yeah. So, well, actually, apparently he's kind of a crazy dude. It happened because he asked his girlfriend to shoot him, and then
he was in a fight.
He threatened her baby, and then like the gun went off or something like that.
He did it though. I'm pretty sure it was in his hand like the whole time. the way the book explained it is that there was a tussle and the gun went off and he shot it. Accidentally got shot in the eye. But just the fact that like they actually used that for an album cover. Someone's getting shot in the eye. Fireworks, Roman candles.
I just think it's ridiculous that like imagine you're being rushed to the hospital and like your first thought is like, oh, let's take this pic. This will be a great album cover.
From what I understand, Bushwick Bill didn't want the picture taken, and it was Scarface's idea. And like they kind of just surrounded him, and someone got in front, took a picture, and Bushwick Bill. That's why he doesn't look very enthused.
Yeah. Well, he did. Yeah. Okay. So they kind of just like
enthused.
They were just like
up and was like, all right, I'm going into.
Well, okay. Then imagine your homie gets shot in the eye, and you're like, yo, we should take a picture. Oh, like man. That's actually like
Yes. I was
going to bring
that up.
So this is mayhem.
The story behind this whole ordeal after this.
So Dawn of the Black Hearts is a bootleg album put out by the black metal band Mayhem. It's not an album really put out by them, it's a live bootleg, but this is the album cover they used for it. And what happened was, this was the singer. This is like the only thing that he's in recording of because he killed himself. What happened is he shot himself in the fucking face with this rifle. His friend, who's also in the band, the guitarist, who later gets killed by the guy Burzum. He walks in, sees it, takes pictures.
Is this death metal?
Black metal.
Takes pictures of him, and then takes some bone fragments from his skull, makes a necklace of it. But this album cover, that's his first song. He walked in, took a picture. That's like
Is that a painting of the picture?
No, it's a really like shitty picture. I mean, they're like, this is like 1990s like
cell phone quality.
Yeah, so like.
So they actually use that for the album cover?
Yeah. Yeah, it's for like a bootleg live one. But they took the picture, they submitted it.
And then the dude, the second story about it, Burzum. There was a dude. I thought that was their guitarist. I didn't think it was their singer. I don't know, but
maybe it was. I don't.
Maybe he played guitar as well. But what had happened was Burzum was in this dude. His name's like Vars or something like that. He was in this other death metal band, and he had this guy's guitar up on his wall. And the new guitarist of that band, like Vars band or whatever, came up and tried to grab the guitar because he's being like, I'm way better friends. The other dude got super pissed off, chased him out, and stabbed him 47 times down a staircase and ended up killing him. He went to prison for only 7 years because that's the maximum sentence in Norway, right? And then fucking.
Oh, he was in jail longer.
No, I thought it was 7 years.
No,
7 years maximum.
He was there over 10, I think, but like under 20.
Yeah, whatever it is, they have a crazy low maximum sentence. You could do some crazy shit. He's burning down charges and stuff.
Now he lives on a farm and like runs like a racist propaganda website.
You should check out his YouTube. He vlogs.
I don't want to do this.
It's some crazy stuff.
And it's funny because as I was saying that, it's like almost like the modern day. I feel like that would happen in nowadays as far as like how everyone. What is this, wine?
No, it's a little bit stronger wine.
Whiskey? Yeah. Take a little bit.
Some good stuff.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good.
You're already like, fuck that.
I'm sorry. I gotta end work. Thank you, though.
But I was just thinking about how everyone's the internet sensationalized everything, and it's just like it's not that like it is crazy. It's a crazy thing to do to your friend, but also it's like I could picture with the internet antics of today, someone doing similar shit, you know?
Well, think about Jake Paul going into suicide forest in Japan,
Yeah.
doing
That
basically
was
that, dude.
fucking insane.
The dude's such an idiot.
That
Yeah.
was
I never
dumbest
saw the
shit.
video.
Or
That
Logan
was the
Paul,
dumbest
Jake
shit
Paul,
I've
Logan
ever
Paul,
seen.
brothers.
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Well, yeah, it's just like you get wrapped up in your own world so much that you are like,
Just don't care about others.
yeah, you're just like if you are so ingrained in your own world, you can get not even delusional, but like just out of touch with like what's acceptable.
False, like, the concept
Yeah.
of reality, really.
Yeah, there's no one checking you. Then it's gonna be.
There's a bunch of people checking you, and they're approving of it. You know, you're getting the views. You know, fucking, I do the same thing. I would go down that path deep.
Yeah,
You know?
like shouts out Boone K.
Yeah.
He went deep, and that's his life now, and I applaud him.
Who's Boone
He
K?
does make a crap.
Boone K.
I don't know Boone K.
Who's that?
Oh, Boone K.
Boone K. You know, he's the one who
Just goes
videotapes
around
himself
trashing things.
trashing things, stealing things,
Wait,
being
literally actually the
ultra
worst
disrespectful.
Wait, you said Boone
Yes.
Gang?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know who Boone Gang is.
Yeah. He's big on the kids love him.
His Instagram account
All the
just
kids
did
love
it
him.
once
Kids
in
love
his
him.
trial.
But there's
What's
like,
gonna happen?
there's also the complete opposite of a person
Shout out
like
Boone
that,
Gang.
and that's little B, where nobody approves of what you're doing, but you still do it and you love it.
I don't know, man.
I approve it.
I mean-
I approve very heavily.
This is a
I
very,
approve of
very
what he's
base
doing.
crowd, man.
I approve
Fuck,
of
I'm
what
flat.
he's doing. I don't approve. I don't know. I don't listen to it.
Wonton
I can't
soup.
listen.
What?
I
He's
can't
got
listen.
some dope features on things.
Wonton
Some-
soup. That's all I have to say.
Like a Martian's my all time favorite.
I think at the end of the day, if
Michael
you're, as long as
Martian.
you're not hurting anyone, like
Exactly.
do you. I'm not gonna judge you unless you're putting doing harm to others.
I judge some people who don't.
I mean, if like me personally, if you're spreading a good message and shit like that, and like you said, if you're not harming people, if you're not trying to like be someone you're not, that's cool. Cause like I feel like that's so hard to find real people nowadays with social media and all this shit. You know what I mean? That's just me personally.
Just for the fans, dude. That's what everybody's about.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
I'm a fanboy.
just stack that money. You got to do what you got to do. Sorry.
This all started with the Ghetto Boys.
yeah. It all starts with the Ghetto
all
Boys.
roads lead to B. Lil B.
Shout out Lil B.
I thought, another super influential thing, or super interesting fact, I think. Just reflecting on how, like, influential, like, the Neptunes production was. And there was a stat that in August of 2003, 40% of pop radio stations, they were getting 40% of airplay. So imagine, like, they produce...
Across the country?
Yeah, in that given, I mean that's 1 month, but imagine at any point they were killing it in the production game that much that like they were getting 40% of airplay.
Yeah.
That's pretty ridiculous.
That is crazy. I know what the other 60% was, and it was WAAF, because they've been only playing Guns N' Roses and Nirvana since those bands were
Well,
out.
it says
they
pop-
don't change their lineup at all.
I know.
What freaking Neptunes couldn't get was WAAF.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's not the Greg
it did say pop stations, so that
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if AFF is that what you said?
WAAF.
AAF.
I think it's
Is
two
that 3
A's.
A's? It's
2 A's,
It's
man.
2 A's.
2 A's. Yeah.
WAF. When all the cool kids.
The best,
follow.
my favorite thing about WAF is Greg Hill.
107.3. No, I like
Because
LB. I'm an LB guy.
The only reason is because it's totally crisp when he hits like 50. Like 100%. Yo, I gotta show you a picture, Chris, because
you gotta get acquainted with the Hill dog, dude. He's a big radio personality.
I fucking hate him.
New England.
I hate him as a person.
I love him. He's
Just
hilarious.
his stature. Not his
Wait,
personality.
Is he
Yeah,
he's on that station or no?
Yeah, he's like the biggest head honcho and the DJs of that, and he does like the main morning show.
Dude, he's been doing it for years.
There was
for as long as I've been like going to school, like growing up, like it was played in the morning when I'd be getting.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
See,
I like LB.
I think there's a comparable.
This picture, dude, and like,
There's probably there's a comparable station
in so many pictures.
from where I'm from in New Jersey,
Yeah.
like Dover, the town over. They have this station, and it would always be playing at the gym I went to, and it was basically like Guns N' Roses, like dad rock, right? It's like all dad rock.
Yeah.
So like every time I went to the gym, if I like forgot headphones, I'd be subjected to dad rock, and it was like the same song, same artist.
Would you consider Molly Crew dad rock? Yeah, right. Probably.
Molly Crew's for boys who smoke cigarettes.
It was like Guns N' Roses, and I don't even know. I blocked it out of my memory.
I like that stuff. I do. It's just that like what WAF plays is like they for instance they only play Paradise City. Like that's the only
they're not
or Sweet Child of Mine. Like they're only playing this.
Or
like they play Santeria a lot, Shine Down. Or for some reason they play Insane in the Membrane by Cypress Hill all the time. But like they'll go into rap for like that and like a House of Pain song, Jump Around.
No, dude, they'll play some Beastie Boys. They are not afraid of the Beastie Boys.
They're not afraid of the boys. That's true.
Whatever the dad's like, they got it.
But yeah, you think of Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Yo,
That's kind of dad rap, you know? Like,
it is dad rap.
I fuck with the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, me too.
I like
Oh yeah, no, they're great,
but
but they're safe enough for the dads. Is what we're saying.
No,
Beastie Boys are great, not just in the Beastie Boys, but they're safe enough.
That's true.
For the white dads.
Well, I mean,
suburban
that's
dads.
because when they were kid dads, not dads yet, just kids even, man. Some may have been dads, though. I don't know what it was like.
The book, they mentioned just how, like, cash money, as far as, like, how the South gets disrespected, I think it's important to look at how, like, the South has revolutionized a lot of things. And one of the things they talked about was, like, cash money and no limit, how they kind of revolutionized the hip hop business model of keeping things like in the family and keeping them in house. So I think that's pretty interesting.
What do you say?
I don't know if you have any thoughts. I'm just like, I hope.
Cash Money Records.
Yeah.
It's like Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
All right.
Juvenile, like
I fuck with that.
Yeah.
I fuck with that hard. All right.
I just agreed with it 100. I was like, man.
Well, I'm like, Chance, I hope you have something. I'm like, I like make a statement. And you're like, yeah, you're right. It is pretty interesting.
Who's screwed?
I'm better at arguing.
We should maybe
debating. Lil Wayne's best song. What's your argument?
Wait, what?
Fireman's Lil Wayne's best song. From back in the day.
I like Fireman.
I got that Fireman.
Fly in, fly out, fly in.
No, not
I've Carter.
No, I got the Fireman. Fly in, fly out.
Those my favorite.
Those are fire.
I've Carter.
I don't even know if I have a. Ooh, I'd have to look back. I can't just say it off the dome.
Honestly, like my favorite Lil Wayne songs might be 6 foot 7 foot.
She will.
No, honestly,
I've never been able to get into Lil Wayne. I feel like he uses a lot of the same rhymes and a lot of the same.
That's so not true.
No, not true. No way.
He's so crazy.
He is crazy.
You got to look at like career wise, like you know, if you look at like a certain year frame, like if you only heard like post Carter 3 Lil Wayne, I could see why you'd say that, because like he did definitely fall off majorly, but.
Oh yeah.
What I can't appreciate is that, dude, he's like self-made, man. Like, he did that 100%.
Well, Birdman really put him on at first. That's like
what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
But
like he became an icon for so long. I remember in high school.
That's all on him. I can respect that opinion too, honestly. Like, even though Birdman, like you said, put him on, but like. Look what's
Birdman
made
with
Cash
him
Money.
and
Birdman, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like that's later. Like the master can, gets top as a student at some point. But I just feel like Birdman really made everything happen.
Anybody can get a record deal, and anybody can put out some records. You know what I mean? If this Like, for instance, like fucking you know what I mean? You get a deal. Somebody produces records. It's all up to you. You know what I mean? It's all up to you.
No,
you
true,
can put out a couple records and they could be shit, or you can put out some records and they'd be awesome and people love them. He had it dialed in. It's just like fucking Wu-Tang Clan. You know what I mean?
They just kept hammering the. No, I
Yeah,
know exactly
dude.
what you're saying. It's his work ethic. It ultimately is like respected at the end of the day, and like no matter like what position you're gonna put him in, is what you're saying is he would have been great.
His mixtape run, like that's like.
I think a huge thing with rap is marketing yourself. Like, that's why Wu-Tang Clan made it big. That's why 3 6 Mafia made it big.
That's true.
The same thing with Lil Wayne. You know what I mean? Anybody.
Image.
I'm not discrediting rappers because there's some rappers up there that are insane. But, like, it's not that hard to rhyme some words together, right? But to do it well and to have people really like it and to appeal to a large mass, that's hard.
It's
that's really hard.
Yeah, it's just
like to have people tell you like, oh, like you look like a rapper, or like you look like somebody that would like, you know what I mean, or like I can see you being somebody that would, you know what I mean, even something like that. I can like see what you're saying in that aspect. You know what I mean? You have to have the whole image. You have to have the whole thing. You have to have the whole word. Yeah, exactly. It's like not just one thing where you can just like make music, because like that's a thing where like you make good music and then like you make one good song, you're gone. You know what I mean? One hit wonder. There's plenty of rappers that have been like that within the past few years. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they kind of just fell off. Like yeah, they have a somewhat of a fan base, but they're not like they were when they first came out. You know what I mean?
But I feel like that's such a huge part of rap, and it kind of sucks because there's a lot of people that have mad fucking skill and they don't get any credit at all because they don't have the image. You know what I mean? Like with rap, you don't have to just rap good and have nice beats. Like you gotta have the image. You gotta be out there. You gotta have a presence.
You
know what I mean? Like
you gotta be able to do it all.
Dreads, you gotta have the colored hair. You gotta have the face tats. You gotta have all that shit. Too.
Yeah, at a certain point, if you want to be a SoundCloud rapper, but
rap has kind of like usurped pop and sort of like the major mainstream like top 100 things for the most part.
Yeah,
so,
it's the biggest genre in the world.
It's taking on a bigger role than it ever had, and I think that's really hard for a lot of artists to adjust to. And I don't think a lot of people even realize that, and that's why I think a lot of rap goes underappreciated, especially just like rap is the new rock, it is the new pop.
Yeah, rock's dead. Hip hop is like. Just like statistically, it is the biggest genre in the world.
And you listen to like 90% of new pop, it's all rap influence.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
hip hop has always been like the edge of what's cool. Like even like that's the thing. What's funny is a lot of people don't even understand that like they do certain things because of hip hop. Like what? Like well, here, just like for instance, just as an example, like suburban like white kids in Massachusetts rock Timbs as a fashion statement, but they don't understand. Like most of them don't even realize that like that was what hip hop was in the 90s. Like they started that trend, and it was like before hip hop, Timbs were a work boot.
New York.
It's like they don't even. They're so detached from the. A lot of people don't even realize the influence.
Yeah.
But the craziest part about that, like especially the Timbs thing, is like a couple dudes were wearing Timbs because that's what they had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People started liking them, and then they just blew Timberland up. Like, when I was a kid, dude, Timberlands wasn't huge. They were a work boot company, and now it's like a fucking fashion statement.
Even me too, being 20 years old, like, Timberland wasn't that big. You know what I mean? People were wearing Fat Farm and shit over Timbs.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, in Fila and shit like that, Timbs weren't really too popping,
Yeah, it's just strange to me. You're wearing a work boot to not get it dirty,
what I was about to say is like
that's pretty strange.
Was like pop and hip hop, like think about it this way: Juicy J did a #1 song with Katy fucking Perry. Katy Perry's height. Think about who Juicy J, like 3 6 Mafia is huge. Like God was talking about 3 6 Mafia, but it took him like 20 years to get really huge.
What's crazy?
Like, they really struggled for a long time. That's where a lot of like the crazy work ethic comes from. And that's like what a lot of their music reflects back off of. And
for sure, even like when
Juicy J's the hardest working rapper.
Yeah, like he came back around like when Wiz signed him. Like Wiz was in a like a better place than Juicy was, and he had a resurgence later in his career, But that's always been the grind of like the underground vibe, like the DIY.
I mean,
the South kind of started that DIY, like.
Well, it's good. They were like southern hip hop, but the reason why you had like a lot of like these like sort of familial like record labels and stuff, and like even in Texas with like Screwed Up Click and like a bunch of different stuff, like Swisher House and everything.
Yeah,
is because like they denied mainstream record labels in a way that like both the coasts didn't and it was just like an attitude that like record labels are gonna fuck you and like
yeah, for sure.
But, I forgot where I was going with that.
But then you look at like No Limit, and Master P is like a legend.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
it's like I think a lot of times people don't recognize like in retrospect, the DIY, like they really started that DIY shit, and it's like in the moment you don't realize how revolutionary what they're doing is, but you can reflect on it and now be like the fact that they started like basically like in-house record labels in the 90s or whatever, like before the internet and shit, like that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing that's crazy about Screw is that he had lines going, I'm talking about him like I know him. I shouldn't do that. That's weird. DJ Screw. Shouts out DJ Screw.
You
but
could say
he would but like people watching it, they're being like, "Oh, is that like his friend?" Like, no, I never
okay,
met
DJ
him. Like,
Screw, yeah.
I don't know. But he would sell cassettes out his window, and he'd have like lines of hundreds of people going up right up.
That's that's the other thing.
And like punks are doing that too, like rockers are doing that too. It's just like this whole countercultural movement, which I kind of touched on earlier when you were asking me how I was into southern rap, but I was talking about how it kind of started with like metal and stuff, just like the general attitude.
Yeah.
And, like it's just like countercultural movements that like are so notable now because they became something that like we don't even recognize as countercultural.
Yeah, for sure. They're the counterculture becomes the mainstream. It's like the mixtape culture was like. Like that's how like that was like, for instance, even like you said DJ Screw, but even like DJ Drama, like that model of like before him, no one thought like, oh, instead of selling our music, we're gonna give away as much of music as we possibly can for free, like, yeah. And like that's how like T.I. blew up, was giving away music. It was the way I see it. It's like the equivalent of like. Nowadays it makes no sense to sell your music online. You might as well give it away for free on the internet. But it's like before the internet, this is the same equivalent of like physical mixtapes.
I got work early in the morning. I got work at 5:40 a.m.
Bye, Chris. I'm gonna come take your picture tomorrow.
See you, brother.
Okay. Forward.
Sorry, peace out.
Peace out. Have a good one, Pat.
See ya.
Have a good one.
Well, the thing is, like, you can't fucking sell music until you're big. You know what I mean?
See,
like,
that's the thing too. Like,
you
me,
can't.
like even with me being like a person like
music.
making kind of like underground music and shit like that, because I would consider myself underground. Because I use type beats. Like honestly, I don't use any beats that are made by anyone specifically or none of that right now. Right now, I'm just basically like using type beats, getting myself out there, getting a name out there, getting views and shit. But like that's the thing too. I've noticed really like I'd rather get a fan base and like use all these type beats and like get people like on my shit before like. I start actually trying to like put money and like start releasing, because yeah, I'm putting money into it, you know what I mean, but I'm not trying to like go too hard where like I'm shooting for the stars off the rip, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like that's where some people fail, you know what I mean? Like you're just trying to like be like, all right, let's do this, let's release a music video, let's put all this money there,
yeah.
And then you don't get it, you know what I mean? And then you're just shot down
yeah,
from
like,
the start, you know what I mean? You're expecting this big picture, and like that's not what's gonna happen realistically. You need to be realistic with it, you know what I mean?
If you can't build an organic fan base without money, then you should never be not that you shouldn't start investing money into your music. Like that's the thing, you should start like you need to be good enough that you can create a fan base even before you've put money into it.
Yeah,
so it's like
people want some talent,
but you don't.
And like sadly, like, but the whole thing is there's a lot of people who put money into it and don't put talent into it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying is because like I'm not gonna name somebody specifically, but like one of my friends over in Florida, because I go there like very so often, get a different state of mind and stuff.
Yeah.
So I go there and stuff like that. One of my friends,
Crocs.
like, yeah, no, but like one of my friends, he was talking to me about this shit, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I don't know, like. he's like the whole like independent thing. Like I feel like I want to give up. I want to do this. I want to do that. And like I told him like at the end of the day, bro, like it's really just up to you. And like I don't know, like you don't have to put money into something. He was saying like let's throw all this money into a World Star hip hop video. You know what I mean? He's gonna get on World Star and do this. And like yeah, I had the 2 stacks. I had the money down there. I had all this shit. But, like, I thought about it like this in retrospect. Like, do I want to, like, pay the money just to be on a certain website? Or do I want to, like, actually do it legitimately where I can get featured and be, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're trying to get you.
Premier spots.
Exactly.
Yeah. Not just a slop.
Exactly.
They're vying to get you on there. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you can throw money at shit and try and get a key feature. But, like, let me just say this. So I'm just like, I just want to make my point. So, like, you can throw money at shit and get a key feature, but, like, sure, like, you might get a big name feature, and that might get you, like, views, you know? You might get 100,000 views, whatever, because you have that name on there. But if you aren't up to snuff yet, like, if you don't have your bars up yet, and you're not ready, then, like, those views are going to come, but that's not going to translate into actual fans. It's just going to be a click, you know? And but but you need to be, like, if you have that feature, might draw people in, and like if you're good enough at that point, they'll be like, you'll actually gain some fans. But if you're not, it's not going to do shit for you.
Because if you're not good and you pay for a feature and you pay for a video, you got to repeatedly invest that same amount of money until you do eventually make fans because they fucking see it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people do have enough capital that they can do that, and people have done that, you know. But like,
but you see these.
Most people don't have that. That's just rich people get more rich off.
But with the internet, it's like, you see these people with organic growth where, like, they're putting up numbers that no one could pay for, you know, because, like, you have actually dedicated hardcore, like, fan bases, you know? And, like, that's what's going to, like, end up allowing you to have a long career. Like, even if you have, like, a cult, even if you don't have a huge fan base, if you have a cult following, like we were talking about earlier, like Tech 9, off of, you know, did stuff completely independently. He understood, like, with the music I want to make, I'll never be on the radio. But he's still on the hip-hop's Forbes list as one of the 10 richest hip-hop, you know, artists, acts in the world because he built an independent empire and, like, a record label and, like, I think he's a billionaire. Is he a billionaire? Yeah.
Who?
Tech 9?
I don't like Tech 9 very much.
You don't like Tech 9?
I like Tech 9. I mean,
like as an artist? Or?
I personally don't listen to his music, but I respect him as an artist because, like you said, he's independent. And, like, even...
I don't think he's a bad guy.
Like, we were talking about earlier, too, like, someone recent that's independent. I don't know if, like, he recently, like, signed with anybody or any major labels, but Joey Badass when he was coming up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Underwater Squad, dude. What about them?
Yeah.
Like, fucking... I remember hearing about them one day. Just randomly, somebody was like, oh, I found this. I think it was Minsu. Minsu told me about it.
Yeah.
And then listened to it, and I was like, this shit's fire. And sure enough, a couple months later... They do the same track, but then they got fucking Waka on it, and like...
And the original one has 58 million views now.
Yeah, dude, and it was wicked good. You know what I mean? But that's what, you know, like, they were able to build that organic fan base. I don't think they put money into it, because I never saw anything on that until Waka got involved. You know what I mean?
It's like, yeah, if you have...
they have the right aesthetic.
If you have the big enough organic fan base, then... You don't have to pay that much for a feature because, like, people are going to want to get on that track, you know, type of shit.
Also, I think that a lot of people had, like, this weird, like, interest in it because none of it was in English, too.
Well, Korean influence is definitely coming into America, like, heavily. I feel, at least. You know?
I mean, there's a big hip-hop scene there, definitely. Like, Minsu has put us onto it, but, like, I feel like, like... It was shared all over Facebook as like almost like this weird thing, you know.
Was it? I don't know.
I saw a ton of people sharing it and be like, I don't understand what this says, but it's lit. I mean, it's true. I didn't understand
it. Goes hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I proved my own point wrong.
Yeah, I kind of was thinking about something that Terrence said, and then I lost it because.
Wait, was it about Keith Abe?
Oh, it was about Tech 9. Oh. See, like, to me, like, even if I can understand why some people, like, Tech 9 isn't their cup of tea, but I think that there's no denying that he's, like, one of the most technically skilled rappers of all time.
See, that's facts.
I like Karabulu.
And that's where I respect him.
Like, his technicality is amazing.
I guess I haven't listened to enough Tech 9.
You should.
Because I don't see him like that.
You don't see him like that?
No, I don't know. I guess I don't know how I see him. You know? Like, I hear Tech 9, I'm like, this dude lives in Florida, and he probably likes to drink rum.
No,
and like goes to clubs.
But
and
he
stuff
also did
sometimes.
it.
Big
Like,
baby
I don't
girl,
know.
come on.
Yeah.
He did shit. Put it on for Kansas
Good
City.
shit.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he
He's
was like
Kansas City?
Yeah, Kansas
I thought he was
City.
Florida.
He built it. Like he literally has
Is
this.
that Caribou?
He has a
He's always
string.
singing about Malibu, that's why.
You're just basing on one song.
Yeah, I literally am.
His biggest song,
Big
but
baby girl, come on.
no, dude, you need to listen to more Tech Nine.
I will do that.
I'm gonna get.
I'll make a
banned
Tech
off
Nine
Twitter.
playlist for you.
I'm gonna diss Tech Nine on Twitter.
Don't diss
Banned
him.
again.
What'd you get banned for first?
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you get into beef with Smoke Perp? Or not Smoke
no,
Perp.
no,
Sorry, no, I was. You know what?
You got to beef with Logic?
No, I didn't.
Wait. We should go over. I didn't
got
mean
a
Smoke
criminal
Perp. I
rap
meant
sheet.
What's the
Space Goes
Space
Perp.
Goes Perp. So what was the? Yeah, let's go over
Yo,
Chance's
Space
Twitter
Ghost
beef.
Perp, Rob Chances.
No, I got my money back.
Wait, no, we need to hear about this shit, because I think this is probably a good story.
Space Ghost Perp was trying to sell this jumpsuit, and I just got paid. And
Fuck Space Ghost Perp.
nah, I like him still, but I don't know. It's complicated. Life's complicated.
Love-hate
Nothing's black and
relationship?
white. Yeah.
Space Ghost Perp story.
Space Ghost Perp story.
Twitter story.
Space Ghost Perp. That story's not on Twitter.
Oh, it's on Twitter.
It
Alright.
happened through Gmail.
Okay. Let
You were
us know
emailing this
what's
dude?
what.
I was emailing Space Ghost Perp.
Do you
So-
know it was actually Space Ghost Perp?
Yeah, because it was like the email that's on like their website. It was like the Vant Money email, and like it was on like his Twitter.
So it
It's
wasn't
on
just
all
some
Vant
like
Money's
someone
Twitter.
pretending to be him scamming people.
No, and it was he tried to get me to send him $200 through Square Cash for this jumpsuit, this Vant Money jumpsuit. So I was like, okay. You know, I was saying I just got paid. I was feeling good and whatever. And so I was like, all right. And then before I sent him the money, I was talking to Dalton about it because Dalton's my fact checker online. Dalton,
Yeah.
And he's the one. He also like I went to him to make sure like it was a real email.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did it. He was like, we should search up this jumpsuit. And we reversed image searched that shit. Like,
Yeah.
He was trying to catfish me. It wasn't like a jumpsuit he made. It was like he posted a picture of a jumpsuit that happened to save him money that someone else made that was like worth like $70.
Oh, and so he was,
and resell it for $200 through that money. So then
so he's trying to joke
so
you.
then yeah. And so like I just started emailing him like, I know you're trying to do, you can't do this to me. And then he blocked me on Twitter. And then it was Valentine's Day, and I started sending him these weird Valentine's Day cards.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he emailed me like I have the email.
Wait,
probably.
you sent him Valentine's cards via Gmail?
Yes. Just be weird. Like, we're friends on Facebook.
Yeah. You were saying I thought that you were friends. He like friended you after.
After
the
he
whole
blocked me
ordeal.
on Twitter and added me on Facebook. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I have to say about it. It was like never anything like real. He just tried to finesse me out of $200.
But then
Wow.
I think it's just funny that he added you on Facebook after the fact.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm gonna block you on Twitter, but add you on Facebook. Keep you guessing.
Yeah. I don't know. His also like he's now like perma banned on Twitter. He does not. He not.
Yeah. Well, he got banned like multiple times. Like didn't he?
He
Like
got
have-
kicked. I've gotten kicked on. Well, yeah, he gets kicked. He would get kicked off for like a long period at a time. You know.
Yeah.
For saying some crazy stuff, and now he's like they banned his IP, and it's funny. You go on his Facebook, and he's like, "How do I get around them banning my IP?" Like he'll post a status. And people are like, "You gotta get a VPN." And
Wait, he
just
can't even
have-
post to Facebook?
No, he's on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
That's fine.
Damn, he can't post a Twitter one.
No, he can't go on Twitter.
Can't be a Twitter tweeter.
And if I make another violation, I'm off Twitter.
And then how'd you said you got banned for bullying Logic?
Yeah, I tried to bully Logic, and someone reported me, and then I got kicked off for like only a day, And then, like, a week later, there's, like, a story about G-Eazy getting arrested. So I tried
the
to
coke
bully
thing, yeah.
G-Eazy. I was just having fun.
Yeah.
Jeezy was on some crazy shit though.
Yeah,
I never
he
thought
was.
he would do that shit.
No.
I mean,
You look at the picture, too.
I
He's in a
expect
fucking
the
Hawaiian
blow.
shirt,
Nah,
dude.
I expect the blow, honestly.
I didn't see
because
the
he always
picture.
talks about it, but like,
No,
I
I'm
didn't
a
expect
fucking
him punching a
soldier.
security guard, bro.
No, he just like seems corny, but like
I try to bully
he's
him.
actually was like a
I'm not. It's not that I don't like him. I was just having fun with having. Fun
yeah.
with
You
the
like to
article,
you
and
just
I
like to
thought-
start shit. What'd you make fun of Logic for?
I don't remember now, but I do remember like he kept posting about how he got an award for the album, and it's like the one that has like the painting but like rendered with a bunch of people in it. And he was like, "Oh, I got #1," and I kept commenting on his stuff saying it's because you put Juicy J in my album cover, and like all his fanboys kept like commenting saying like, "How the fuck does that have anything to do with
Was
this?"
he?
Like,
Wait,
get all
he was
pissed off.
wait. He was on the cover.
Yeah, so like he did it like the cover is like a bunch of cameos and like a famous painting.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's
Oh,
like a lot
yeah.
of people. And like they somewhere in like there's a little spot where Juicy J, I think he's in a fur coat if I remember right. And so like I would just comment being like he got the success because like he put Juicy J on the album cover. And like people like you can hardly see him. And got like really mad about it.
It's
And
mad
I
funny.
remember-
It's mad funny when people take stuff way too seriously.
Yeah.
Like you're like totally just like I know why people are pissed at like trolls, but like when you're trolling and you're just like not even being aggressive, you're just like
No, just being dumb.
yeah, you're just
Like,
saying some dumb shit. Like,
yeah, acting like I don't know any better.
Yo,
and,
the
that,
flat
and
earth
people
dating.
take it. People just take it way too seriously. Like
Yeah, I'm in a flat earth dating group on Facebook.
And,
Are you really?
yeah, me and him are.
my friend started a fake flat Earth group, so they
I'm in a
would
real one.
so they would
like
post.
real deal.
Well, they started.
People have gotten married off
Well,
this group.
it was a
Yeah.
it was a fake group, and oh no, first it was like they changed it all, so it was a fake group, but some people in the group were real. So like the people that like started it were fake.
That's
but
cool.
like
That's a trap.
people would join it and like not understand that it's like like it's hard to tell who's joking and who's like
Yeah.
who's like real. So it was like there was people that would come in and like try and argue with the people that were totally like faking it.
Who's like the first person that came up with the fucking flat Earth theory? Can you please talk? about
Actually,
that?
Yo, that's been around
Captain
since the beginning of time.
Jack Sparrow.
Oh,
Captain
Cameron's
Jack
dead.
Sparrow. Oh.
I was gonna say it was going low, but no, actually no. First it was they started a Christians Against Space Exploration group, and they were pretending to be like Christian moms that were against space. Not specifically moms, but like super Christian people that every time someone like said something that was like, arguing with them, they like said something about like something the Lord and
Yeah.
being blessed and like
Well, because they're all like really hardcore Christians for the most part. I found out being part of that dating group.
And they really love posting selfies
Oh yeah.
all the time, nonstop.
They want people who are equally yoked. That's the phrase. If you're on like.
I
the
thought
same
yoked was like,
conscious level.
when you're ripped, like you're
I
big.
thought that's like when you're drunk.
We have all
But
the
like also
I've never
a
even
phrase
heard of it.
they say it all over the. I'm looking for like someone equally yoked, like, and that means that like you have the same Christian flat Earth values or whatever matches up with them. Like, I don't know.
God would be against flat Earth.
God created the flat Earth.
No,
And the devil created rock and roll.
That's true. Tenacious D, the devil created Tenacious D, who went on and made rock and roll.
All right. Well, the camera's dead, and I feel like we're pretty much done. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm gonna put out this whole thing, but there's definitely some good snippets to throw out there for sure.
All right.
That was some good stuff.
Yeah.
There she goes.